is going to be Mitigating Climate Change, a Comprehensive Approach. And this is going to be by Professor Dr. N.K. Mahajan, retired Professor and Head of Department of Veterinary, Public Health and Epidemiology, Luas, Hisar. With this, can we have the intro video, please?
Our next speaker is Dr. N.K. Mahajan. Dr. N.K. Mahajan is distinguished veterinarian with a PhD in veterinary public health and epidemiology, with over 35 years of experience in academia, research and field diagnostics, primarily at HEU and Luas, Hisar. He retired as Dean College of Desi Science and Technology in 2018, but continues to shape veterinary education and poultry health in India. A stalwart in poultry disease diagnosis, Dr. Mahajan has investigated thousands of logs, performed over 6 lakh postmortems, and delivered 300 plus lectures to farmers and industry professionals. He has mentored 8 postgraduate students, led over 2 research projects, including national and international collaborations, and has published 90 plus scientific papers. Honored with 2 lifetime achievement awards and recently conferred the Outstanding Public Health Veterinarian Award by Indian Veterinary Public Health Association. Dr. Mahajan is a fellow of the National Academy of Veterinary Sciences and is a key contributor to national policy. Dr. Mahajan is currently a member of Empower Committee on Animal Health, Government of India, member Expert Group on Veterinary Products, Indian Pharma Portfolio Commission, Chairman, Working Group on Poultry Production, Government of India. Dr. Mahajan is an avid international contributor. He has represented India in 10 countries and currently serves as a visiting professor at IIEM, actively training and mentoring future researchers. Please welcome Dr. N.K. Mahajan.
So good afternoon, all of us. You must be tired now because it has been a hectic day since morning. So I must thank Vaccine Poultry Association for this whole symposium and for inviting me for this symposium. At the outset, I must start paying tributes to B.V. Raoji. Today we were very much encouraged by Dr. Jain's presentation at this age of 85. So when I am retired 6 years earlier, when I am 66, so we can take so much of encouragement from him that should keep on working. Only then you can remain live, just like he is at the age of 85. And then Suresh Chitturi's presentation that he is doing business, when in spite of that he is doing PhD. That's his thinking that he should keep on getting the new information. So that's the new, that's a good thing for new veterinarians or veterinarians who are working in different companies or different organizations, that we should keep on updating ourselves, keep on doing degrees or even other courses to upgrade ourselves. So now last topic, mitigating impact of climate change on poultry. So next, okay, here. So as all the speakers have already told in detail, so I will be running through very quickly. So the growing role of poultry in the changing world is that global demand for poultry meat and eggs is going to increase by 4 times by 2050. So means we have to just, Dr. Datta was saying that we have to increase the production by double the production by 2047. So that is the same thing here also. The importance of poultry, that it plays a vital role in global food security. and poultry is highly efficient converter of grain into eggs and meat, and that too very fast. Particularly broilers, they convert the grains into meat within a month's time. So the growing role of poultry again towards the production trends. As all of us know that China has led the world in egg production with 612 billion eggs during 23-24, followed second by India with 142.77 billion. We are quite far behind China, but still we have a lot of scope to go higher and reach to that height. Poultry has surpassed the pigs to become the most produced meat variety globally. So that is another plus point for poultry. And the United States of America is the biggest chicken meat producer, followed by Brazil, China, and India. India is the fourth producer, second in eggs, and fourth in chicken. So, but above all, you see within Asia, you can see that China followed by India, then Indonesia, and then to some bits Japan and other countries. So climate change is a big threat to all of us as a human beings, as well as for the poultry sector, because it disrupts the environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, rainfall, and disease patterns accordingly. So this will affect our production as well as health of the poultry in coming times. So what is climate change, why it is occurring, and so it's an innate and essential feature of that is brought by the both natural and human caused processes. So by one estimate, they say that temperature is rising at a rate of 0.2 degrees Celsius every decade. So during the past 3-4 decades or 5 decades, we have the temperature has already risen by 1 degree Celsius. The emission of greenhouse gases, they are the major culprit in climate change, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrogen oxide. These are the three main greenhouse gases, and they are to be blamed for this purpose for making the climate change. So these gases trap the heat in the Earth's crust and prevent it from reflecting into the space, thereby contributing to the global warming. These are the three major areas in poultry production which are the cause of greenhouse gas emissions. So we can work on those so that we can reduce the emissions from these three categories to minimize the impact on climate. So as I told you that feed production, so the use of fertilizer, land use changes for growing crops, and the transportation of feed ingredients, they are the significant contributor, and 57% they are contributing in greenhouse gas emissions. Energy use, because poultry farms they rely heavily on electricity for essential activities like we have now environmental controlled houses. Similarly, manure management is another area where we can work on. And of course, of late, many companies, even in Haryana, the Skylark group of companies, they are now working on that, and they have already started producing biogas out of poultry manure and put up the plants in 42 places, different places, and we will producing electricity from those from that manure. So we can think of those technologies so that these methane and nitrous oxide gases which are produced, they can be controlled, and particularly in the laying farms, need to be discouraged, and we should go for dry manure, which has many advantages because it is easier to transport and than liquid manure, and dry manure system also requires less of the water for poultry, for raising the poultry. So then what is the impact of this climate change on poultry farming? So this is bothering all of us because in coming years, we will have to work on these points and then find out technologies to minimize the impact on poultry production. So slight changes, we know that in today's poultry, even slight change in temperature, the birds are very sensitive to change in the temperature. 1 degree Celsius in Hisar itself, I am saying, and there was drop in production immediately because of rains in between. It came down to 21 degrees Celsius, and night temperature also went to even less than 20 degrees Celsius. So if the temperature, the difference is more than 10 degrees Celsius, it very badly affects the health of poultry birds, particularly the broilers. And in Hisar and around, they are mainly broiler belt, and they are bringing their birds to my lab also for diagnosis, and invariably they are affected by all the respiratory problems. Even in poultry in general, we can say that 60% of diseases they are because of respiratory issues, 30% are because of GI tract, and rest 10% are other managemental issues. So then another thing is that temperature extremes similarly temperature extremes, as I already discussed. So they are affecting us because whenever there is any change, how they affect when the temperature is high, how it affects the poultry health. When the climate change is going towards higher side, what will happen? The productive changes will be reduced feed intake in the birds, reduced body weight, reduced quality of meat, reduced quality of fats, quantity and quality of fats, and poor feed conversion ratio and increase in mortality. So this is the productive. These are the productive changes. Then behavioral changes are also there, like they take time in feeding, and then more time in drinking, panting, open mouth breathing, and less walking, and they spread their wings to cool them down. So then physiological changes are again oxidative stress, acid-base imbalance, reproductive alkalosis, etc., and change in sickle microbial profiles, etc. All those things and endocrine changes, all those factors ultimately lead to production drop in these birds. So behavior changes, as I discussed in this slide, that particularly birds get lethargic. Once they get lethargic, they will not take the sufficient amount of feed which they are required to take, particularly the broilers. And they will consume less feed, they will take more water to cool down their body temperature. Then physiological responses, that chickens are particularly vulnerable to high heat stress because of they lack sweat glands. So they increase the respiratory rate by panting, and then because of that there is acid-base imbalance in the body, and which disrupts the normal enzymatic activities, and the production drops. Production declines because of all these factors put together, behavior changes as well as physiological responses, and it leads to reduced weight gain, lower egg production, diminished fertility, uneven quality, etc. So it has been studied by different persons that the increased temperature adversely affects the production. So because economic losses will ultimately result into that, so we have to think of water management challenges, because water is a big scarcity which is going to happen and bother us in coming times. We are already fighting, like in Haryana and Punjab, feud is going because Punjab is not releasing the water which is required for even for drinking purpose in Haryana. So a lot of troubles are going on. Similarly in Haryana, in India and Pakistan also, we have stopped their water. So these type of issues, we can think of that in future. Most of the wars may be fought because of water. So water is going to be a very important resource for which we have to depend as a human being, as well as our poultry and other animals. So in the upcoming time, livestock including poultry, crops and non-agricultural uses will compete increasingly for this limited water supply. As a result, more effective poultry production system will be required. So these are some of the changes which means if the birds are affected to heat stress, it also weakens their immune system, and changing climatic pattern, they are shifting the migratory route of the birds which are coming from different countries into our country during winters. So along with them, they bring the infection, various diseases like avian influenza and Newcastle disease from those countries. So because of their changing routes, they are going to spread the disease in those different routes also. And spread of vector-borne disease is going to rise because of increase in temperature and humidity. So the farm biosecurity challenges that because of environmental pressure, the risk of farm biosecurity outbreaks also increase. So we have to involve year-round visitor control, disinfection and restricted access to sensitive areas, regular monitoring for wild bird population, early warning system including environmental sensors and rapid disease testing protocols, as Mr. Suresh Chituri has very nicely presented during the day, that we have to go for with the help of artificial intelligence in putting these sensors and production technologies. Implementing One Health approach, this is one important area on which all the three international organizations are also working, FAO, WHO and OIE, that we have to animal and human and environment, all those persons need to work together so that to avoid zoonotic infection as well as to control the biodegradation or climatic change. Evolving vaccination strategy for emerging threats is that various new and emerging strains of avian influenza are coming up, and as Dr. Jayaraman has pointed out that avian influenza has caused a lot of mortality during this year as well as it has been happening every year in India, and that causes a lot of mortality to all of the persons who are dealing with the poultry sector, and because of that, not only birds are the poultry are at risk. Now this disease has been found to be transmitted to wild birds, to even domestic animals in cattle farms in many states of US. Because of that, now OIE has decided that they have decided to allow vaccination against avian influenza H5N1 and highly pathogenic avian influenza also, because they say that every country can decide about for vaccination after discussing with the poultry sector, so that if the economic losses are more, they can always go for vaccination. So there is no restriction on behalf of World Health Animal Organization, World Health Organization Animal Health, OIE. So similarly, other diseases also require updated vaccine formulations. So we can think of, we can allow the vaccination, because in the morning also people have been saying that many vaccines which are illegal, they are coming in India, particularly from China. So those vaccines we are always at risk of using those vaccines, but we are using because there are no other alternatives available to us. So the government of India allows these vaccines which are already allowed by many other countries like developed countries of US and the European countries, so we can immediately control these diseases. So strategic vaccination planning includes avoid period of extreme stress, immunity enhancers, and vaccine banks have to be ready. Every country has got vaccine banks. For particularly the avian influenza, they keep research of these vaccines. So immediately whenever there is an outbreak of avian influenza, they will immediately start vaccinating the districts around those affected areas with vaccines so that it doesn't invade into those areas. So mitigation and adaptation strategy for sustainable poultry farming designing improvement for housing, utilizing renewable energy. That is very important that we have to go for solar powered climate control system now, because solar energy is a renewable energy and there are no carbon dioxide footprints because of solar energy. So this is the one alternative on which we have to work, that solar energy should be utilized, because this and the technology has also improved. So that is a better option available to the poultry industry. On the roof of poultry shed, they can make use of these renewable solar powered things. Reflecting roofing, that is one thing which we have used. Then feeding strategies. This is important, that feeding during cooler parts of the day, such as early morning or evening, that is a better option. Health monitoring, regular health checks, that is important. Stocking can still do the stocking. Genetic selection is important, as Dr. Datta was also saying that climate resilient poultry strains are required, like NAT, that gene and the freezer gene. Similarly, we have to work on some other genetic factors like such as heat, stock, protein 70, which codes for thermotolerance. So these type of traits we have to, the companies need to work, commercial companies as well as government sector, they need to work on such type of climate resilient poultry. So heat stress affects so and then nutritional adjustments are critical, so we have to go for energy dense feed, that is inclusion of fats and oils in the feed instead of using more of carbohydrates and proteins. So we can use in place of particularly carbohydrates that produce a lot of heat after the consumption. So we can go for oil, adding to those particularly during hotter months of the year. Crude protein levels can be reduced, but we have to maintain the amino acid level which are required.